Alright, well, I got some more parts for this project, so I thought I'd do a little update. And by the way, this is a very strange design, so if you're on YouTube looking for good building practices and so on, this isn't the place to go. There's a lot of great videos on the Apogee website, Apogee Components with Tim Van Milligan, or there's good Wildman builds and so on. This is just a project to try something a little bit different, just for fun, and I'm just videotaping it for my own entertainment. So, as I said before, this is a 6-inch to 4-inch rocket that I'm going to call the Loch Ness Monster. And the reason I'm videoing today is that I got a couple new parts. So first I got this nice heavy-duty anchor, plug-style anchor from Aeropack via Mad Cow, and it's going to go inside here as the retainer. So it is a minimum diameter retainer. I'm not really using it for that. I already going to have a retainer down here, standard flange style retainer at the end of the rocket. But I do need this for the anchor point for my harness. And the other thing I got is this really cool fiberglass transition that I got from Mike over at Mac Performance Rocketry. He's super helpful. In fact, he just explained to me on the phone how to use it. Super helpful guy, and he custom designed this for me, so I'm really excited about that. That is the tail cone of the Mac Super Black Fly. It's a 6-inch rocket, but what I'm doing here is using that component but flipping it around to have it be the transition piece. And I also got this nice set of Kevlar. It's a 1/2-inch Kevlar that I got also from Mac Performance Rocketry, and he puts these really cool loops on there that are unbreakable. And so, okay, so now I've pulled this out so you can see the design again. So the idea is that this long 4-inch airframe tube is going to double as the motor mount. It's going to go down inside of the 6-inch section here, and then the 4-inch tube will double as the motor mount. Is going to go all the way to the end there for extra strength, and then I'll have a bunch of these centering rings and through the wall fins, and I'm also going to add some threaded rods to try to make it even stronger. But this piece is designed to be just basically it's an airfoil, because so this motor mount tube is going to go all the way in there, 6-inch to 4-inch, so I need some kind of airfoil. And Mike over at Mac Performance Rocketry gave me this really nice and sturdy transition piece, and the idea is that this shoulder will go in there. I'll epoxy that in really well, and then this end goes goes over the 4-inch motor mount, and I'll show you how that works. So what I'll do is this will slide in like this, and then this tube goes all the way in. It's gonna slide all the way down like that so that it'll look something like this, and then it connects up to the top of the rocket. I've got this payload bay and av bay, which are ready to go. They were from the original rocket, which was a Mad Cow Super DX3 that had a Kato, but the top part is perfectly fine. So then, so then all this Kevlar goes in here, and along with Nomex and a little drogue, and then down in there I need to have the anchor, and then I've got these 5 fiberglass centering rings, 6-inch down to 4-inch, so there'll be one here, and then 3 or 4 down in here, of course, framing the fins, and then maybe another one in the middle. And then I'm planning to put maybe 2 or 3 threaded rods all the way through there to make it strong. So then I need to decide where to put this this plug, which is, as I said, a minimum diameter plug from Aeropack. I'll need to decide where to put that. If I decide to fly this on an M motor, it would be this long. This is a 5-grain CTI case. It's got a motor in that I've already built for another flight on a different rocket. It's a CTI M1401. If I were to have this rocket be able to fly an M motor, that's what I would need in there for a motor of that type. And it's just going to be a question of whether I have enough space. But I think I do. I think there's enough space for this Kevlar and the Nomex cloth, and then to have the anchor point right about there. Again, I don't really need this as a minimum diameter retainer because I have a regular retainer, but I do need it for the plug. More likely to fly this rocket just with a 3-grain case, which will come up to about here, but I'm just measuring it today with this 5-grain case, just in case I ever want to fly it that big. But of course, I'll try it out first with a 3-grain 75mm L motor or a 2-grain K motor several times to make sure that it's safe to fly. But I'll plan to put this a little bit higher just in case I ever want to put in a 5-grain 75mm motor. So, and then with this, so I'll use JB Weld as they recommend to freeze that down in there permanently. And then I'm also going to add that to the threads of this eye bolt. And of course, I'd rather that it had a U-bolt because that's more traditional for a large rocket like this, or at least this part of the rocket's large. This part's not on the top half, but it's going to be pretty heavy. It's going to be actually up to about 32 pounds if I have an M motor someday, but definitely in the high 20s for an L motor. So I'd rather it was a U-bolt, but it's not. But still, this is quite heavy duty, as you can see. It's a 98mm retainer plug. But one thing I might do, so I'll JB weld it in and also JB weld the threads here on the inside. But even to be extra safe beyond that, what I might do is put a threaded bolt through this horizontally. So, you know, this is going to be inside here. And what I could do is internally put a couple holes. Mike at Mac Performance Rocketeers reminded me that you could just drill a couple holes here and run a bolt across, and I could just send that bolt through here as, you know, extra insurance, just in case it ever, you know, twisted itself out or something during the descent. It would not actually come out if I had a bolt and that. So that's a possibility that we can check into. But anyway, that's the current plan and the current status of this very strange Loch Ness Monster project. It's a strange build that I'm doing for no particular reason, except that I wanted an interesting design challenge and something fun to work on this fall and winter. So that's where we are right now.